Hey there, gamers. Welcome back to Cryptic Gaming. I hope you've been having a wonderful week. We'll get this live stream set up here, make sure everything's going good, and get my chat up so we can see what is going on. So, just doing some live farming here. And if you got questions, we'll try to do some tutorial and answer those for you guys. But I think right now we're just going to kind of focus in on the farm and wait for some people to pop in the chat. Okay, let's see. It's been a little bit since I've done these live streams, so it takes me a minute to remember how to set all this stuff up here. Okay, so we got that. And there's this. Okay. Now, that looks good. Put this in. Again, it takes me a minute to figure out where to go to. I've got so many apps that deal with YouTube. I keep forgetting that you just go to the main app and you can queue it up from there. As far as to see my chat here. All right. So, as usual, I'm going to also post our Discord link here for those who are wanting to join into the Discord and have a gaming community. I do recommend that you find a gaming community. Preferably, obviously, we prefer if you used us, but if you just need a gaming community, several to choose from. I think we're the best, but that's just my opinion. So, okay, so I think we got that going there. I'm assuming you can hear me. Yep, I heard volume, so we're good. How's it going there, Joel? How you doing tonight? Where can I set this thing without getting my stand out? Right there's a good spot for it. All right. Okay, so I'm going to kind of give you some ideas of what it is that I'm doing here in the grind. So obviously I'm hitting the Mega Fort here in World Tier 2. That is the Woven Hall. I'll be honest, I haven't ran Houston much since this season. Sweet, glad you made it over, man. I haven't been running Houston much because I get everything from Woven Hall. Plus, it takes quite a few less, quite a bit fewer cannonballs, I guess you'd say, to run this thing, man, because everyone's contributing and you can get up to 20 people in it, which is always great. So, but something else I'm doing is I'm just kind of going around and trying to get these plague princes to attack. Now, the easiest way to do that, obviously, is to start farming on Grand Fort. Doesn't have to mean that you stick around in it and to plunder. Just get it so it aggroes them coming in, and you can farm those out as well. And the reason we're doing that is I'm taking those over here and I'm running the Lepic 3s on salvage to get that plague dust. And I've heard rumor, I don't know for sure, I haven't confirmed, but I've heard rumor that plague dust is going to be used in the season 3 ship to get it upgraded because it's supposed to be like a poison based ship. So that's going to be pretty awesome. And it's going to require that. So I'm just trying to get that stuff up. You go into salvage and you would come in. I think I've already salvaged all that stuff, but we're going to double check. Yeah. So you can actually get plague dust. Now, you also get plague dust running Lepest, but I'll be honest with you, he's been kind of stingy here lately with it. I get more of it running the plague princes. They're not dropping dust, but they are dropping Lepics. And here in tier 2, they're ascended, which means you have a greater odd of getting some materials. So it's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Now, when I start farming for those guys, typically I will switch over to a torpedo build, but I think I'm going to go with this. I have noticed something I want to double check because I was playing around with my build the other day, but I don't think this is the modified build. I think this is my old one. And I didn't notice a lot of jerking and jittering earlier. It actually seemed like it was aiming pretty true. So they may have got that fixed, but I'm going to have to look at my furniture just to double confirm this. Yeah, so I'm not using any of my stability furniture. So that's a good thing. It looks like, at least today, when I was running Wolfenhall earlier, I wasn't having any issues. So we'll see if it continues that route. We're going to take this down, and I think we're going to go over here and farm out some of these ships here real quick. And we may switch to torpedoes. We'll just see how this fire build. We may switch it to the basilisk build too. I haven't really decided yet, but we're going to see what we can do. I usually use torpedoes for this, but like I say, I think I will come up here because it seems like every time I do Hunter Hunted, I end up starting getting Plague Princes, and I can just really start to nerf away on them. I don't have to be in that tributary next to Grand Fort. How's it going there, Dan? But yeah, there's quite a few things we could still farm. I think we did a video yesterday how to get helm materials with the forts being kind of jacked up here, and hopefully they'll be getting that fixed soon. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, but we did not see much of anything about it in the notes, but it wasn't an exhaustive list of notes either. So I think I'm gonna kind of focus in on this guy here just a little bit. Oh man, I'm just doing a little light farming, trying to get my materials up for season 3, and I've got 3 frigates upgraded, and I was going to do. I had thought about doing potentially 6, or at least stopping at 4. But honestly, I think I'm gonna break off of that grind right now because I'm hearing that we're going to be getting a new ship and stuff, and it's going to require some deep iron and things like that. So until I know for sure, I think I've got plenty of frigates, at least for now. This is one of the things with the ship is it is a slow turner. Hey, all right. Glad to hear the videos have been helping. Definitely, why the main reason I put them out is to help any new gamers coming in. I understand that there's not really a whole lot of tutorial built into the game as far as some of the finer, intricate parts of it. Now, there are quite a bit of avenues to teach you different ways you can play it as far as like being a pirate or more of a merchantman type stuff. But when it comes right down to understanding some of the mechanics, it wasn't very good at explaining some of that. So been trying to get some videos out on that in the past and just kind of show ways to shorten up your grind to where you can get a little bit more a little bit more of a direct grind that's going to get you where you want to be at quicker. Man, I tell you what, I should have switched over to that other armor that specializes against fire damage over here. Really not putting out a whole lot of damage, but reload, baby. There you go. All right. Now that typically, I'm surprised I didn't see any plague prints. So let's go up north, see if we can queue them. If we can't get those aggroed over here, we're going to have to go down to the Grand Fort to kick them off. What do we have up here? Let's figure them. I don't think I'm carrying any heads either. I think I've turned all that stuff in from my warehouse back last season. And not a poison ship. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go down to Grand Fort. Let's go ahead and go down there. We know for sure. I know for sure we can queue them up there. Usually they would come up here to Northern Quadrant, but it's been, I'll be honest, I haven't seen a whole lot of these ships anymore. I don't even see the what we called smokers, the Phoenix ships with the purple smoke in the Indies. I haven't seen any of them in quite some time. Whenever I would go over and queue up on Houston, so I stopped going over there. I get plenty of 8s from my helm at this point. Then, of course, running these little mini bosses, you get 500 to 600 here in tier 2. You get 400 to 500 in tier 1. Well, I see smoke. I don't know. Maybe Hunter hunted here. No, that is a prince. Sweet. That fire does pretty good. I tell you what, they That freaking poison smoke, man, it's just so brutal on you. We may put on a med kit to help reduce some of that. Now, that's why I've switched kind of torpedoes when hunting these things, is you got to get so close, and the further away you are from his mortars hitting, the longer time you have to get out. If you're closer, you would think because they got to fire up higher, it's going to take longer to land, less arc, but it doesn't ever work that way. But we'll wait and see what we get over here, because I prefer to fight those things in the open sea here. A Pepperidge Farm joke? Man, that's bad, dude. We're showing our age when we're breaking into stuff like that. Okay, it's nothing there. Yeah, we're going to fast travel down there. I'm not sure what that ship is. Used a Badar. I've used them in the past. I used Badar to the point that I just got so sick of using it, but you can use a brigantine pretty good to zip in and out of them too. But no, a Badar actually does a really good job of ramming them to a degree, but you got to be careful of that armor that they're using. You got to make sure that you got the right furnitures and stuff to specialize against the poison and all, and make sure you're running what's it called, the Wailing Ward or something like that. I forget the names of these things, but we'll do a quick repair. Nope, wrong button. Or wrong selection, I should say. I will switch over to our torpedoes too. That almost looked like Helm Rogue sitting out there. I must still have a contract or something on me, or I've got a wanted level for running that earlier. I must have a mark for death on me still from yesterday or early this morning. Okay, so we're going to do a quick repair on this thing. I'm also going to switch over to another loadout. Where are you at here? There we go. Alright, let's switch this to some torpedoes in our inventory. Looks like torpedoes and rockets. I may actually forego the rockets and switch over to a mortar on this thing. I haven't decided yet. Just because it does give a little bit more distance between you and them. Okay, so I don't need these. We don't need that many of them. Alright, and I'm not going to have rockets we're going to use. I don't even need the cannonballs. I must have torpedoes all the way around. It's been a while since I've used this. I thought for sure I had cannons off the back end. Maybe not. Where are torpedoes? There they are. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and change out the weapon on this and update this loadout here. What do we want to use here? Explosive and siege. No, let's see. That's got 2 siege perks. Man, I thought I had I must have set all that stuff on other ships. I need to finish some of these Eye of Heavens also. Okay, well, we're just going to go ahead and throw in a freaking Royal Meg. It'll be all right. I think I picked the right deal. Let's make sure. Yep, okay. No, I do have cannons on the front of this thing. Okay. I was gonna say I was pretty sure I had some, but man, it's been so long since I've used torpedoes. I'm gonna probably have a lot of fun with this, I'm sure. There we go. Now I am going to probably start over here at the Mother of Shipwreck, swing down, actually aggro the fort, and just wait for that stuff. And then I'll probably pull off the fort and focus on those ships. The main reason for that is I'm just, like I say, looking for those freaking plague ships. Hey, it looks like Sirius popped on. Sweet. So something I've been kind of debating too is having like a, obviously this is a live stream, but having more of a live show, and then for those who are in the Discord and want to participate in those types of things, joining into the Discord, you'll be able to join a late night show channel where we could all converse and shoot the breeze on here. Your voice would be protected, identity, stuff like that. We wouldn't stream what you're saying too much, but it could have a pretty good option for a show. We used to kind of run something like that on Twitch. And I think that was pretty popular back in the day, so might bring that over here to YouTube. So just to have a little fun with it. But at the very least, it helps you get to know the teammates that you're playing with and stuff. So something I'm going to be looking at talking with Sirius over in Discord about, helping try and get some of that stuff set up and see what works best for some things. I don't want to be trampling on any events or anything like that with that, obviously, but I think we come up with something. Yeah, brigantines, they're fast. Some of the best brigantine builds I've seen have been coming out of Sirius's channel. And I was never a big brigantine fan, but the same with a lot of ships until I started kind of following some of his builds on those ships, man. I'll tell you what, when you have the right build and it's done correctly with the right type of stuff, I mean, there's things that work and then there's the things that are the best. Obviously, it's a heck of a different story. So what we have here, I think that's just campaigning. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that these are actually, nope, that's a course fleet. It's got a little tick to it still. It ain't as bad as it was before. I mean, this thing used to like jerk so violently back and forth. It was crazy. I've got one build I'm playing around with now. I haven't released it yet, but I use some stability furnitures, and it helps get rid of a lot of that. But I'm wanting them to get that out of the ship themselves, so I'm not tying up all my stuff with it. So, yeah, I thought we had some rogues over here. Let's go ahead and sink these guys real quick. Yeah, it's demi cannon on the front. I couldn't remember what I had on the front of this thing. We may need more cannonballs with that demi cannon. That's that battle junk. I bet that's that electric build he's got. I tell you what, unless if the brigantine doesn't run, I've seen Badars sink them pretty easy. But man, they have a tendency to run, and you can't catch them. It's the fastest ship in the game. All right, there's some plague ships. It's not the Prince trailing the green smoke, but it's still a plague ship. I don't know if we'll get any Lepic 3s out of them or not. We'll see. Even if it's Lepic 2s, they still create dust. Ooh, I just got smoked by something. Let's see what hit us. That didn't show. Probably the fort. That's what happens when you get up in there. Now, something I'm going to have to keep an eye on also is the freaking blighted fuel, the old buckets of green snot, because they will over encumber you real quick. Nah, I just seen that thing heal itself. That is the Grand Fort way of breaking. It'll start healing itself. This is why I don't run the helm material on forts anymore. Like I said, I'm just more or less trying to get to the stage to start calling in Plague Princes. Talk about a big miss. I just throwing a Ouroboros armor, man. I mean, you're gonna sink. I mean, it happens in any tier, especially in tier 2. But it'll heal itself. You'll heal your ship with that Ouroboros armor, and it just healed again. Man, this is becoming kind of a pain. But I think we've got enough aggro to actually start spawning in some more of the plague ships. I think that's plague ships there, maybe. That looks like helm. There we go. And I'll be honest, I haven't even gotten any weapons from these guys yet, which is crazy. But then again, they're not trailing smoke, so I think we need to up the aggro. These forts are such a disappointment here lately, man. I hate to sound like I'm harping on it, but I'm pretty sure that's directly responsible why we're not able to actually draw these guys in. But there's Captain S today. He's directly related to aggro, so as long as it keeps spawning in those plague ships, I think we can aggro enough stuff in, maybe. It's disgusting. Oh, big nest. There we go. What? You mean it didn't heal that time? Well, we might actually make something out of this. Something just knocked the crap out of me with shell shock. There we go. Come on, hit the island, man. I sent him running. Well, I'm not sure what's going on here, guys. So I'm pretty sure it's directly has to do with this fort. One, it's not even aggroed us into the plunder yet, I don't think. Can't seem to take that wall out. Go ahead and see if we can start this way manually. Maybe that'll call the ships in. Alright, fingers crossed that this will actually bring them in. Makes easy work when they actually have a weak spot down in the water. Man, most of these ships don't have weak spots under the water, so that's one of these things. I thought I picked the one for Rama's Legacy, but these seem like they're hitting like a the freaking electric torpedoes, or it may be Sirius hitting them with electricity. Something's sparking off. I have to double check that build. I forget what the heck I've got on this thing. Yeah, let's see if it'll actually destroy the weak spot right here. It's usually where it faults out on me. Not completed. Well, there we go. Still not seeing helm ships. This is kind of disappointing. We'll have to start freaking farming La Peste again. I take it back. Here's one coming inbound from the northeast. Well, I say inbound. He's kind of out there a pretty good ways. He's kind of tooling around. That one's not trailing smoke there. I have to pull out there and get a shot in on that guy. I think that torpedo will reach. Take after him, see if that'll help. Let's see. So I don't want the blighted fuel, but I do want any kind of cannons he may be carrying. So we'll take this. And we'll take the 8s. And of course the gold marks. I'll even take the repair kits and the cannonballs. Don't need the rest of that mess. Go ahead and toss those and that. Alright. Guess we could have took it all and just come and waited and discarded what I didn't need, but I don't always do things in the right order. Tell you what, they used to cover the bay up with those ships back in the day. It's becoming a hassle to try and get enough of these plunders, or enough of these plague ships coming in. When they do come in, they're never the right ones. Like that one up there. Oh, talk about a miss. Here we go. As far as I know, there's not really a ship that has any torpedo specializations yet, unless I've missed something. But typically, you can build your torpedoes out for flooding for like a brigantine. If you're wanting to use them with more of a fire-based ship, then you put fire and throw them on a sandbuck. I've never used them on a sandbuck, but I don't see why you couldn't. Explosives you could use with like a schooner that adds extra effects, but this in here doesn't really add anything to it. So I have to look see what I've got these built out. I've got a couple of builds. So I've got an electric build that mimics a build that Sirius put out. And then I've got this Rama's Legacy, which is a couple twists, but it's pretty reminiscent of what most folks are using with it. But I'll be honest with you, I don't really remember. I think I put flooding on all this stuff here, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I'm going to tell you, I guess we're going to have to go up north and see about freaking aggroing some of these guys there, because I'm not seeing anything here. It'd be quicker to hit this fast travel, I guess. But not as fun. Yeah, right next to that tower, just north of you there, Sirius, there should be some cannon that you should be able to get some plague dust out of, plus piece of fate, etc. But I think I've only got like 68 of those things. I don't know exactly how many we're going to need, but I've been salvaging freaking Lepest 3s for a while to not have quite as much stuff. But then I did actually ascend quite a few too, so it's hard to say. So with these types of ships, I guess destroying them will help aggro those print ships in. Used to, you just used freaking heads of the Lepest captains, but I haven't even seen a lot of those smaller ships. I think they're in Tier 1 mostly, and up in the northern section. We used to get the heads. I think Lepest may still have them, or not Lepest, Blackwood may still have a mission for that, I don't know. I thought there was another one or two over here. Oh. Smacked right into the wall. Here we go. We might actually get somewhere now. Now again, unless something's changed, these didn't actually ever reward out any weapons or anything that I'm aware of. It's always just cannonball crates. But it does increase the aggro against the pestilence fleets to get the princes to come. Fire stuff, cannonballs. But it did max out the aggro, so maybe we'll actually spawn something worth having here. Looks like a plague prince directly north. Yep. Unless he despawns on us. That's why I like torpedoes against those things. I'm going to have to dump this plague fuel here in just a second now. And I don't use these or this, so I'll go ahead and dump that too. All right. Oh, got the crap popped out of me. I might want to stay out of these towers while I got a campaigny aggro on me. That'd probably be the smart way to play it. I've been accused of being a lot of things, but smart was never one of them. Man, I tell you, it's like pulling teeth trying to find these plague fleets now. But that's one thing that you can rest assured. If you're playing a game and there was an item or something that you were getting quite a few of, if you see where suddenly they become more rare, then you really need to double down on trying to farm that stuff out, because it means typically it's going to be used for something in the future. So grab it while it's falling hot. You know, there's really no such thing as having too much of any kind of a resource, especially when it's stuff that's made for using cannons and things. That blighted fuel, though, the buckets of the green poison, I don't even know how many thousands of that crap I pick up. You can pick up, several thousand just hitting a few ships. So it's been kind of crazy here lately. Looks like we got a plague ship behind us. It's not a prince, so go ahead and hit it and keep our aggro up. Now, I think I've got one of the taunted statuses on this rare cannon. It ended up being, as far as this torpedo, it ended up just didn't quite roll right, and it ended up with taunted stats on it, so I just threw it on the back end. I don't know that it does anything good to it or not, but hey, you can't never go wrong with taunt. Return. Get a nice shot in on this dude. Like he's got us a location marked here. Must need to dump cargo. All right, so one thing you can do while you're in a team is you could actually keep your aggro up by not both going on island. So while he's on the island, I'll wait when he comes out that I can go in and dump some stuff. That way you keep your aggro up. You don't have to start back over at scratch. So that's always a really good thing to do, especially if you're trying to draw out fleets. I'm not really sure what's going on with this. I'll double check my warehouse to make sure I don't have heads, but you can pull those things in pretty quick with heads sometimes, but I don't think I've got any, so maybe we'll go check the Northern Territory and see if we can destroy some of those smaller ship fleets. But essentially, all the heads do is just increase the aggro. So I mean, we're doing a fine job of that, just sinking the ships. Let's see here. Got need that. Don't need that. So some of this stuff looks like materials that are coming off of my forts. We like my cog wheels, upgrade parts, etc. I've got an auto pickup for that stuff. It looks like he switched into a frigate here. Probably got his torpedo built out. Could be a culverin. See what we can see. That looks like a culverin build. Maybe long gun? No, it's Lapix. Probably. I don't know. Oh, auto pickup? Yeah, so what that is where you go into your helm and you assign a ship to a location. So like this one here, I've got making Find Cecil. And so I don't have to manually come in and check this because it has a capacity of 150. It fills up pretty quick. I think it makes like 2 or 3 of these an hour or something like that. Let's see. 2.75 per hour. So instead of that warehouse filling up, I could set a ship on it by clicking on and then just assign a ship to pick up. That's why it's important to have a large fleet. And, get them to 15s, 14s at the least, try to get those built up. I need to see what's going on with the Enigma here. This is a stripped down to a 12. I must be sharing a piece of furniture between this and the other torpedo builds. I'm not sure what's going on here. But yeah, so you can do that. A lot of the areas I have like my auto collects here where you can just come in and just auto collect it. And you can grab your materials that way too. Now the problem with this is whether you're auto collecting or having a ship assigned to pick it up, you end up in a situation where it delivers it to the cargo of the ship that you're currently occupying. So if you're logged out and this stuff is in auto pickup, before you leave harbor, be sure to empty your cargo because it's going to be sending all that stuff when you're logged off straight to your cargo. I want to try to dump all this mess off. Let's see if I got a few heads. I remember back in the day, there'd be freaking 15 to 20 of us in a server just rolling around with the pest heads farming for these daggum ships. And then it got to where they would overrun the server a lot of times, and now it seems like it's getting hard to even draw them in. So I don't know. Hopefully we're going to be able to. I would like to see where we could take blighted fuel and refine it. I mean, it looks to me like if you put it on a fire, it would turn into dust. So that would be something that'd be cool to see come into the game. I don't need yeah, we'll keep mortar bombs. Drop that off. Okay, so we need mortars, those, and of course I need my torpedoes. I don't know why I took them off. Go ahead and grab a few more cannonballs. All right. And set sail. All right. I'm not sure who that guy there is. Now, earlier, yesterday, I was actually out and ran across. It said it was Skurlock's Lost Brigantine. And it was right, it seemed like it was right over here. Yeah, it's sitting right here between Lascaux and Western Basin. Just sitting right here and doing nothing. You know, there was nobody on it. You couldn't board it or anything. So I don't know if it's part of a mission, something. Maybe someone was running a mission. It was just happened to be out there, and I happened to pass by and see it, or what. But I don't remember a mission of a lost frigate, but or not frigate, but a lost brigantine. But sure enough, there was a mission for it, or a ship sitting out there. It looks like he's headed up to the Hunter Hunted, which is used to be where we could grab an aggro on this stuff. I'm not sure who that guy is. Campaign Royale fan, apparently. Looks like it's down. All right, there is a Plague Prince to the north. Talk about a short spawn. I didn't even see him there till I was right on him. Have to keep an eye on that blighted fuel. That stuff will stop you up. Like eating too much cheese. Okay. What is that over there? Yes, fleet of pestilence will take some of these guys out. Maybe that'll help the aggro. Looks like there's another one up north here. Something lit up over there. I'm not sure what it is. We'll make it come down out of that fog. Looks green. We'll go after it. Yeah, we still got a little tick in the ship. Ah, it got too close. It'll be all right. I think we'll survive it. Hey, there's another one. I think it's going to give me enough time here to dump some of this garbage out of my cargo, too. Let's see. Now, I just hate to throw all this blighted fuel away. I've got quite a bit of it, but if I throw all this away, I know it's going to be one of those situations where you're going to need it for something. I'll just hang on to it. I can always dump back in a cargo hold on the warehouse. Not seeing anything. That fog is up. There's one over there. Turn. Or tick your way into the right direction. If you ain't going to turn, that'll work. That looks like a sandbuck. Shooting snot out of a sandbuck. They're changing it up on us now. Imagine fire ships or an ash bringer with freaking poison on it, man. That'd be bad. That'd be a kick. That'd be a really nice kick to the teeth if you come into PvP using the freaking ash breaker with the poison added to it later. Sure. I've got to dump my blighted fuel out. They're just now starting to really kick in here, so jettison that mess. Keep the little pigs. We're gonna dump this one more time here. I screwed up and picked it up. I heard something. That must be close to Vikram. It is. Take that, that, and that. I might as well take cannonballs too. Shoot. Oh, I went right through it. It's funny how you'll see their backup coming in, and once the plague print sinks, they all take off. Oh, crap. This is where you need someone with a freaking ship set up to carry a lot of cargo, and they can just come in and pick all the blighted fuel up, then divide it up on the shoreline. I just don't know that any ship would be able to pick up that much stuff, man. It doesn't take much to wait one out. I'm not getting that close to you. I don't want to be your friend that good. Crap. Go. Go. Get out of it. Now, I just think it's interesting that when we use our poison weapons, man, they are nowhere near as effective as what the computer has, that's for sure. So we've got another one to the south here. Kind of looks like cannons in the corner of his sails. It's hard to determine what that is. Maybe a top, like a castle top? I don't know. Well, I might better heal up before I get smoked over here by these poison ships. Block right through that. Pick up our goodies here. I'm gonna go ahead and take this freaking little captain out too, because it don't hurt to have a couple heads on you. I very hardly ever see these dudes anymore. I don't think I picked up a plague head though. No, in fact, I'm about 90% certain there was no head. Double check. Oop. It's Pestilence Fleet, but I'm not seeing any prints with them. Maybe they'll call one in. We're back down here by 100. I've got to hit the restroom real quick. I'll pull in here to an island. I'm a little shocked that used to, man, you could aggro these things to the point that you had to call in help. But here lately, it's I don't know. I think it was too much for a lot of the newer guys coming to World Tier 2, so they had to tone it down a little bit. Is what ended up happening. But man, it was a great farm if you had the freaking manpower for it and the ships. It still works though. We've got enough to make a few things, I think, here. I will be right back, guys. You know, I might have to go over and hit Lepest, man, at this rate. But honestly, he doesn't really give any more than them other ships do. So it's kind of, not really, it's really pay to hit Lepest there. I didn't even empty my cargo. We got to make that right. Try this one more time here. We only got 9 Lepics. I mean, it's better than none, so we're getting somewhere. Now, how many of those will actually produce the plague dust? That I'm not sure of. I know you got a greater chance on the Ascendants than you do the non-Ascendants. And you kind of have a better chance of producing plague dust than you do an actual part. So I might check that out here after a while. See if we can get a few more. Looks like Sirius is coming in for cargo drop. Grab this material here. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. There's some plague ships. Maybe we can get an aggro going again. I think I'm out of range. Yeah, we're in range of it now. This is that lost ship convoy here. These plays decent on 8s. Not exactly what we're looking for, but we'll take what we can get. I'm just kind of wondering when we're going to be able to get some of these mines that we're seeing these ships use. Some of that stuff looks pretty good. There's another helm ship. Yeah, so typically if you join into the Discord, one of the easiest ways, in my opinion, to find players to play with is when you see them in voice chat, just jump in or jump into the main chat and say, hey, who's looking to do some grinding or, whatever, or ask for help. That's the best way to do it, is to just jump right in and join in with anybody that you see in voice chat. But a lot of folks actually coordinate their farming from text chat too, so that's always something to look at, as far as an option. If you don't see anybody actually in voice chat, it can be because, people work during the week. Most of the folks are stateside. We do have some that are over in like Europe and other nations on the other side of the pond, so to speak. But I'm just glad we finally got us a spawn there. Okay, dump this crap here. Fridays and Saturdays, usually there's events that are running, which will be just like randomized farming stuff. But if you got boss contracts and stuff like that you need to do, definitely show up for those to hop into chat and look for folks. If we typically farm in tier 2, so if you're not really able to get into tier 2, it's not a big deal. We can get you joined into a team and brought over and all that. We've got something shooting poison somewhere. There he is. Oh. Excuse me. Yeah, it's the blighted fuel from earlier. Okay. And we got one off to our east. I'm loving the fact that we can turn these things on that chain, because I tell you, that is the best way to turn your ship around. Small, medium, or large, it really is. Oh, I like how he just randomly just stopped. Perfect stop. Oh, we did. If I make it out of this, I'm going to be surprised. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen. Instead of just focused on running, I should have shot off a couple barrages real quick and took him out. That was my bad, not paying attention. Eat down. Dumping the blighted fuel. Pretty sure that's not what I'm looking for, but it might aggro some more in. Kind of veered off of my course here a little bit. There it is. Hey, what's up, Ed Meister? I think this ship's gonna pop before I get in range. Yep. Oh, I think I took all. That might actually be the quickest way to do this. Just take all and jettison the blighted fuel. Like more pestilent fleets spawned in the south. How close are we to the border? Man, we're right on the border, ain't we? Oh wow, that was a really close spawn right there, man. That thing like just right in our backyard. Yep. That was not good. That's what I keep hearing. Sounds like it's had some testing done on it, and that there's a new ship coming in season 3. My understanding is it's a medium ship. It's not going to be a large. It's supposed to be like a sloop of war type of deal for those familiar with that style of. It's a little larger than a sloop, a little smaller than a schooner, I guess. But sounds like it may even be a ship that specializes in poison damage, so that would be pretty cool. So we don't see any ships with that or electric, so as long as it's one or the other, that would be great. Yeah, it looks like that ship is down for the count. So yeah, that'll be nice to see season 3. You know, even if it's just a new ship is all we get, as long as we got something to grind toward. But that's kind of what we're looking at from what it sounds like. Any of your poison weapon, your Lepic 3s and things that you build, or even upgrading your Leflus, you're looking at needing plague dust. So that's what brings us out here today, trying to get these Lepic weapons. We're going to take and salvage them down and get that plague dust. So when this ship comes out, hopefully we'll have all the materials needed. I've also been focusing on the Wolven Hall, trying to get that deep iron. I imagine it's going to be required in that. I've heard that deep iron is needed in armor ascensions whenever armor ascensions come to the game. So just trying to stay ahead of the grind a little bit if we can. At the very least, it's fun to just play the game, you know. Oh, you slow turning son of a gun. There you go. Catch that wind just right, you can kind of kick it around using your chain. But I never try to start my turn going against the wind. It never works out well for me. There's the plague ship. Sure, that one behind us. We're good. Oh. That'll jar your feelings loose. That's probably just fuel, but I'm going to double check it. Yep, blighted fuel. Not a bad little way to get some materials either. I mean, you get quite a bit of stuff over there. Looks like something's up north, or that might just be, nope, there's one up north. Okay, so it could just be flares. I'm glad that they actually made the flares marking your stuff a lot larger than it was last season. It started off real strong, then they made them smaller. To me, it's hard to see that stuff on the sea, but you know, I'm old and half blind, but especially in the storms was the real bad part. You couldn't see anything in the waves. Boom. I think there was something there. I don't know what all that is. Sea fire weapons, I guess. Looks like I missed where the ship went down. Just like that, they didn't want to play with us anymore. Come on now. Well, we're still waiting to hear the roadmap, the updated roadmap. So originally next season we were supposed to be getting the hand-to-hand combat, officer system, and a reputation and alliance system as well. How much of that's been put on hold, we're not entirely sure. Anything it said was going to be main key features coming into the game, they put on hold as of about 3 weeks ago now, coming up on a month now. But we'll just have to kind of wait and see what it is that they're going to bring us. There's been rumor that we should still see the officer system. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but like I say, most of it's rumor. But they're supposed to be giving us a updated roadmap here soon, is what I keep hearing. So haven't seen it yet, but my guess is, if I had to guess, we're going to see that right before the mid-season update, which you'll be bringing in the Dark Tide Lullaby event. But as far as anything extra being added in or anything new, short of some soul mending type torpedoes that are going to give you extra health, and a ramming furniture, and the ability to purchase stuff from Yanita's Ledger again, I don't know how much new stuff we're actually going to see until Season 3 gets here. And when Season 3 gets here, we don't really know what the updated roadmap is. Sounds like for sure we're getting a ship. What it's going to be called, I'm not sure. But it's supposed to be like my understanding is some of the artwork I've seen on it has a 3-mast sloop, essentially, that's larger than the sloop. Kind of a cross between a sloop and a schooner, and it's going to be based off of poison. So whether or not that holds true or not, we'll just have to wait and see. But that's what the overall rumors coming out of a lot of the test beds are right now. And typically they're pretty accurate on stuff. They might miss a couple little things here and there, but I'd say that for the most part, to expect that that's going to be coming for sure. We'll probably see a ship. And with that ship, we'll probably see, there's rumors of being able to ascend your weapons with rolling on a plagued perk, as far as like poison. We're supposed to be seeing that coming into the game. Eventually, we're going to see armor ascensions. Like I said, I don't know if those are going to hit for season 3. I imagine we're going to see some new weapons as well for season 3, especially this ship if it turns out to be a plague ship where we can actually boost our poison damage. I would suspect that we're going to see something where you're going to have some new weapons. Probably, I don't know what the weapon's called. It's in Death Tides, but it's the bombard that's on the Sandbuck. It's actually a poison-based weapon. So that could be kind of cool. They had lingering effect type furnitures and stuff on that ship as well. So I think we'll see some of that stuff coming in. The only reason I say that is because we know for a fact that the Hell's Gate Serpent torpedo is actually in Death Tides right now. That was just recently released, so I'm guessing they're doing some testing in that bed over there. So, but yeah, so I think poison bombards we'll probably see. We'll probably end up being able to make poison culverins and stuff like that, which to me will be pretty awesome for some of the things. Now, whether or not they're going to increase the amount of damage that these poison effects do to NPC ships or not, your guess is as good as mine. I have noticed it seems like there are a few ships that are using brace now. When you're shooting at a ship, you'll see like two diamonds. There's an outline diamond, then the diamond within it. The outline diamond on the outside is their brace. So I've not done any testing to see if the pest cannons, the Picre 3s or the LeFleur actually drops their brace or not, though. I mean, it's not a weapon that I've used a whole lot. Not because it's a bad weapon, it's just it didn't have much value for me as NPC stuff, taking out PvE. But PvP has always been pretty popular, so hopefully it'll be pretty cool. But at the very least, if we could roll that poison perk on the what the ash breakers, I think they were called, that'd be freaking awesome. Be able to add those to it. I'd love to be able to put them on quite a few of the weapons that we've opened up already. Or hey, could you imagine on a torpedo? I mean, heck, you really make some serious damage using them torpedo builds. If you could throw some poison on it, that'd be kind of cool. Where is the nearest? Wow, that is a long way down, isn't it? I think we take this to St. Anne and break down some of these cannons and see if this is worth our grind here. Hey. Somebody done screwed up and showed up en route. Well, I'm smoked. Go, baby. Go. Get out of that mess. But I thought I was going there for a second. Oops. Hey, there was some bananas over there. Lena should have come over and cleaned them bananas up. So of the Discord members, every trade she does, she takes bananas and trade. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so I'm still waiting to hear for sure what's going to be released on that card. I know they've got a lot of different things being tested right now by PC players. The reason they do a lot of their testing on PC, at least the way I understand it, is when you bring a test to console, you have to get the licensing agreement and all that, and it takes a little longer to get these tests in. Then if it's not right, then you got to start back over and come back in. But where you have a PC, you can have a dedicated type server where you can just bring them in with the PCs, and they can do all the testing and things like that, and then get it released out. Now, they may have a final test just before release on the consoles, but I would be surprised if we do. Sounds like they're working on still the the faction wars, and I'm hoping that means that we're getting pretty close, to seeing this come out. We don't know how long it's been delayed. We don't know if it's going to be the rest of the year or released at the beginning of season 3 or not. We know that there's going to be an extension of season 2 by 1 week so they can get it. They said so they can get this thing polished in, but I don't know. It's I don't want to really tell you one way or the other, and then you'd be disappointed. Uh, but it sounds like there's going to be some cool stuff coming into the game anyway, for sure, on season 3 with a ship. So, and then potentially some weapons. Now, sounds like the aspect of the where you can lock in a perk and then roll out the actual percentage of the weapon is actually going to be coming soon too, because that's in test phases. What it sounds like, and the way it would work is when you go to actually ascend, it'll have a button. Now, what that button's going to be, I don't know on console, but you would have a button where when you're ascending, you would lock in the actual perk and continue to roll out the percentage on something. So that could be cool. But my problem hasn't been being unhappy with the percentages. I don't even pay them a mind when I'm trying to actually ascend weapons. What's been getting me is I don't never see the perk that I'm wanting. So hopefully they work on that. We'll see. Keep those. What do we got here? Oh, that's what happened is when I moved this, I already had my Enigma set up with this. It's a ship that I've got, one of my frigates. And when I switched everything and pulled that off, it just pulled everything off the ship and moved it to this one. This was actually a covert build. That's why I made so many ships, is so that one would be dedicated torpedo, one would be dedicated covert. Been playing around with some bombard builds, but it's just hard for me to justify switching to bombards. Even the bombard 5s, they're strong, but they're not as strong as you can get like with the schooner with the extra damage and stuff. So the culverins with their fast reload time, it's just really hard to beat them. And then of course demi cannons, those dragon demi cannons, I've been enjoying those. So okay, so let's pick 3. Here we go. Let's go ahead and start salvaging. So I got a plague dust from it. Plague dust from it. Hey, if we get a plague dust from every weapon, would be awesome. We got 8 from those 5 stacks, and those weren't even ascended, so I think we're going to get it pretty good. Well, you'll have to get your account situated, man. If you had a account, if your account got messed up and stuff, definitely get you a new one, get it verified. That way you can get joined back in. But yeah, if we start noticing, like if I was probably one that did, because I'd started getting a bunch of porn links and stuff like that sent to my DMs, and rather than risk that spreading across our Discord, I just boot block. That way I don't have to deal with it anymore. And you can create a new account. You may have to make a new email, verify the email and stuff like that to get back in there. But I understand things happen with accounts and stuff, but I'm not going to risk that spreading across the Discord. That would be really bad if that started happening across the board. So, but yeah, we'd heard quite a bit of people talking about had gotten some of those things. So, but it got dealt with pretty quick. Yeah, so that's a good way to get those plague dust. Let's see what we ended up with here. We'll go here. Cargo. So we're at 54. We were at 36 when we started. So I mean it's okay. We didn't quite get 20. We got about 19 pieces. So I mean it's coming along with 19 weapons there, but it's a good way to get it. It's probably the best way to get it as opposed to running Lepes constantly. Of course, we could run him, but I hit him several times yesterday, and I never got plague dust out of him once. So, of course, that was in Tier 1, so I don't know what Tier 2's paying out. But looks like it starts in 4 minutes. We might could go do that. I don't know. I think this here seems to be the better farm to me. Are you sure your account's situated, man? It ain't going to start doing some crazy stuff on there? Let's see here. Where we at? Torpedoes are good. Yeah, I don't really need that many cannonballs, I don't think. But man, this is a good way to get cannonballs if you use a lot of culverin builds. Obviously, you chew through these cannonballs pretty quick. Move that over. I think we're good on everything. I don't quite need that many mortar bombs. Let's go ahead and clear some out. Give us 400. Yeah, there we go. Make a little more room, but I haven't really been running out of space too much on this ship, unless you run out of slots. Man, if your account gets nailed, it just gets nailed. Like say, it wasn't nothing like being personal about it or anything. It's just it protects the Discord. If it's, I don't know how that stuff works. My understanding is it reads the memberships within Discord and it starts sending it to everybody over there. So rather than have it spread viruses around, we always just kind of do a little quick block on it. But I'll look into it a little further, and we should be able to get something situated on it. There's the pestilence fleets. Tooling's wine and truffles. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what all meals Tooling puts out anymore. I know there's a steak dinner. I've got, I don't know how many of those built up. That reminds me, I got to start running through some of my food items and getting that stuff. But I've got a ton of chests I still haven't opened up that I need to from last season whenever we were getting the chests and all that. I just kind of let them stack. Because, yeah, you get a lot of plate glass and things like that, but the way things have been going on with warehouses and crap here lately, I just kind of saved that stuff for just in case things get real ugly and they start hitting warehouses again. I've got those chests to restockpile on some of those materials. Okay, it looks like there's another plague fleet. Or pestilence fleet up this way. Let's go ahead and aggro one of those guys. We should have enough to actually be spawning into those plague prints. I'm not sure what takes so long on this stuff sometimes, but for whatever reason, it takes its time. I wouldn't be surprised if the heliport comes pretty soon. I mean, we're approaching September, and October will be toward the end of season 2 here. I think like the first or second week. So at the very least, I imagine we'll see it come Halloween. I've not seen anything indicating we should see it during the Dark Tide Lullaby event. The reason I say that is because with the other weapons and stuff, when you go to the Codex, it would tell you if they were coming with Dark Tide Lullaby or with the Moonshiners, and I've not seen anything on the heliports other than that it appears at that shrine in St. Anne's. So my guess is it's going to be a Halloween event again, so definitely make sure you grind those out. Boom, he's down. I'll keep that area marked right here. So Sirius can see it. There we go. Feels wasteful throwing all that crap overboard, but doesn't really do me much good. I don't know what we need them for. Neon? Are you talking about Lynn with the fire juggernaut? I think she's available even now. She's usually out here somewhere. The bosses tend to rotate. If you come in and you take out Vikram, you'll probably get it to rotate in, just kind of like you have with LePez. Sometimes he's here, sometimes he's up top over here. But it seemed like I ran across him over here. Then, of course, you have the Serpent's Wrath over here with Zang. Make sure you run that if you don't have the furnitures and stuff out of that yet. Yeah, I've not noticed where any bosses are actually out of the seasons at any point of the season. They just kind of rotate in. If you go on a boss grind, you can just start sinking bosses and they start to kind of rotate in. And seems to be, to me, to be one of the best ways. You know, as foggy as it is here, there we go. So usually that indicates that there's going to be some blighted ships showing up. There's the one right there. Lost it. There it is. I don't recall Neon. Was that? You mean Vikram? I thought he was season 4 last year. Vikram's right here. Unless he's some sort of a side boss, which could be potentially over on the leaderboards, or not the leaderboards, the bounty boards. Honestly, I haven't really paid attention to them here lately. I don't recall the names. I just kind of farm what's out here. I don't even look at the names anymore, man. Was it a main boss? I thought it was Lian Ying was the name. I thought that was the middle name of Lian. I'm probably wrong. Wow, that was a hard hit. The bottom right of the map. Don't know. I hadn't noticed anybody by that name, so... Now, was he the heliport boss where you had to go and... Was that the event where you had to go and farm him and you got the materials for heliports, or do you recall? So that could have been a specific type of a convoy next to La Peste. I hadn't seen one. Oh, there we go. And we'll hang on to the blighted just in case. Is it behind me? Nope, there's not one. So I missed most of season 4 last year, so I'm not sure. That's probably why I don't recognize the name, man. A big storm over that way. To be honest, I thought for sure we were going to have a plague ship show up over here after hit that convoy, or that pestilence fleet, but not looking too good. Oh, that was last July. It's beating, so I mean, I guess that's always a good thing. But like most people, you start to get older, the ticker don't tick quite the way it's supposed to. But it keeps the blood pumping, which is the main thing at the moment. I think I've got a 35% EF on it. My last meeting, or my last reading, I guess I should say, from the sonograms and all that kind of stuff. But not that good. But medicine helps. It goes along. So that's funny. I thought we was for sure going to get something. I hate getting that close to the edge of the map though, because I have a tendency to go on the other side and end up in a bad way real quick. We're serious with two on there. Oh, he's still parked. Okay. Yep. That daggum chat button, man. I don't like it being attached on that joystick. Yeah, exercise was never my problem. I was congenital. Something was malformed in the aortic valve or the aorta or some crap like that. But anyways, they had to go in and do a bunch of replumbing in there. But yeah, that and mostly what was causing the issues. That was, I guess, part of that weak heart muscle and stuff and all that kind of mess. But lungs wasn't that great. Hit the gym 3 times a week. Shoot, man. I just stick to what the doctor's giving me. I'm not going to go hit no gyms and all that kind of mess and go have a freaking coronary. I'll stick to what the doctor suggests. Right now, I'm not even allowed to drive a car, man, because if the ticker goes, I don't want to be going off the road smashed into anybody. So I just kind of follow what the doc says at this point. What is that? There's a ship called Europe. There it is. That's it. I don't think that's one called Europe, though. No, it's a generalist. That's weird, because that should have dropped some 8s at the very least, but it didn't drop anything. Unless it picked it up, and I just didn't see it. Double check my cargo. Yeah, that's what happened. Is it picked up blighted fuel. Okay. What are we going to get in this? Let's see. Maybe we'll get lucky and it'll be some dust. Probably not. Nope, we did get plague dust. Sweet. I mean, you dump that blighted fuel and you just get a super amount of space. It's crazy. But I think we'll actually hang on to it and drop it off. Try to live until you're 80. Man, I tell you what, there's more to life than this mortal flesh. But if she can make it to 80, that's great. Me personally, I mean, my body's in such bad shape. I don't even want to see how bad it's going to be come 60, but that's just me. Joints are wore out. Too many hard jobs over the years. But it ain't just job related. A lot of it was health related too. But, you know, things happen. I just about given up on them things spawning. Like there's a fast travel right here. Yeah, I want to step into that real quick. What, go to 80? No, man. Not been any intention of mine. I mean, I don't know. It's just I guess everyone has their own preferences, you know. So it mentioned best way to level up the leaderboard to get the weekly gilded. Well, what we're running right now, it pays 30 guild points. So that's a pretty good way to do it. Finish putting this stuff in the inventory here real quick. Uh, you can also I'm in the wrong ship for it. Give me just a second here. Oh, where's my... There's the Enigma there. Okay, so let me jump back into this and then load out my other loadout here real quick. Okay. Now we'll have to change out our munitions. We got cannonballs and mortars. Don't need those. So we could actually do this right here where we're at. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna switch into my Reaper for this here. If I can find it. It may actually be assigned somewhere. Let's see here. It is assigned somewhere. Where is this assigned to? Let's fix that real quick. It's not showing it's assigned in here. Try it again. I'm not entirely sure why it's the 14. I was just using it. Must have pulled a weapon off of it earlier. There we go. Probably pulled that auxiliary weapon off earlier. Probably what happened. Yep. Nope. It's all good. So it's not that. It's the furniture missing. Let's see. Charge stores, breach lock. I don't know why that's on there twice. That's kind of odd. There we go. So we're going to throw some bombards on the side of this thing, and I'll show you how to get you some stuff. Sorry about it. It's been a while since I've been in some of these ships, and they have a way of getting equipment swapped around sometimes. So one of the quickest ways, you can do this in Tier 1 or Tier 2, one of the quickest ways to get Infamy is to come in and start destroying these towers. Now, you don't have to complete plunders, just doing towers to get Infamy. Let's see where the bulk of the towers will be at. It looks like there's quite a few north of us. We'll just swing up through here. But typically what I do, if I'm just looking for quick Infamy, you can come in. If you can access World Tier 2, just jump in Wolvenhall and run it 4 times, and you will run your weekly Infamy to the top. You'll spin it out. About 10 times, if you haven't completed for the season yet, should finish that off for you as well. So now, if you're not wanting to do Wolvenhall and you're a fairly new player and can't access it yet, this here's a quick way to get your Infamy and your guild marks. So you see Kingpin points coming in. They are essentially just Infamy as well. So it's your basic experience points that you would pick up. But you're going to come in and you should have a tower on the right here. Somewhere. There it is. Take it out. If you can see it, you can hit it. I can't hardly see anything in this soup. What in the world? Okay, wasn't actually trying to spawn it, but that gave 400 Kingpin points on that, so there's you some Infamy as well. It's 400 here for a tower, it looks like. There's another 400. So you're going to grind out some Infamy pretty quick, just taking out towers. Like I say, you don't have to finish plunders and things like that. It's one of the things that they even sometimes award you SP, and until they start to tie Infamy to SP, which they actually broke that away from it here a while back, you can just do it that way. But keep in mind, you're not earning SP by leaving plunders. You're just, taking out walls or taking out your towers and things like that. You could also come in. I'll show you another location here real quick. Yes, Bombard 5. It's been upgraded. Should have a fast travel here. So if you're just looking to swipe through some quick Infamy, you can also start off spawning over here at the Forgotten Candy. And as you pass through here, there's a ton of walls, and you get quite a few of these towers. You can come up across the backside here if you prefer. You have a tower here and a tower there. And then one over here. Take out the walls around Deuster as you come up. Shoot the towers over here and come back around. And you could actually work your way all the way up through here, just taking out towers all the way up the coast, and that's going to give you here in Tier 2 400 Kingpin points or Infamy points for every tower that you take out. So Tier 1, I think it pays 100. It's 400 here in Tier 2, so it takes a little bit more to take them out. But yeah, you could use a Bombard 5 for that. We'll show you what I'm using here on my Ascension points. We have Divine Thunder on the front. It's rolled out with Heaven's Eye. I'm sorry, with firepower, amplified electric on both of those as well to boost the natural firepower and then adding the amplified electric. Now, I had one that I was running with explosives builds, but one of the things I was running the Mega Fort Houston last year or last season is it kept healing ships using the explosive perk. So I went mostly electric with this build here. So then with the Bombard 5s, I'm currently running a Siege and a Shock perk with Second Storm on both of those. And on the back, we are running Siege, Second Storm, and Shock on that as well. So, probably could build these out. I've actually got one that's built out with just explosives that has a higher hit point damage as well. So that's something to think about in the future. But for right now, this seems to be working pretty good. My sloop, I've got it set up a little bit different. We'll jump into that ship and show you what you got. Now, keep in mind, the schooner and the sloop are pretty similar in some aspects, so you could actually use this build for these Bombard 5s on a schooner as well. Where you at? There we go. So Fire Bombard 3s in the front, only because they were hitting harder using this particular weapon. Then on the sides, I went with the Fire Bombard 5s, which hit for 89.97 on each side there. Dire Explosive, Combustion, Amplified Explosive, Second Storm. Now, you could put a long arm perk on that if you wanted to, probably, and get an extra 70%. But I like to add a little something extra on there just to zap around on the fleets next to you. And with the Fire Bombards, I'm running Shock, Amplified Electric, and Second Storm on those as well. So, like I say, boost off of the electric and the automatic explosive boost that it gets on this ship here. But they work pretty nice. But when it comes down to just doing my daily grinds and stuff, I really like to come in. That's what's going on. I think I'm sharing a piece of furniture between these two ships here. This is the one I was using my torpedoes on earlier. Something's missing here. What are we missing? Our rear weapon. So we can use really anything on this thing. Or the auxiliary weapons. What's going on here? I'll go ahead and switch back to the Roaring Meg here. I don't think we're using it on anything else, so we're going to throw it on there. Okay, all that looks good. We're going to switch back over to our torpedoes. All right, I think we're good now. What state? I'm in a Fruid state, Fruidian state. No, I'm in Florida, man. Down here at the Gulf of America, I guess it's called now. So, enjoying the sunshine, the high humidity. All right, looks like there is a few things to pick up here. Man, it's almost 12:30. I didn't realize it got that late already. Yeah, so that's something. I guess I will get ready to close out here, guys. But I think we'll start putting in and definitely comment in on the video later, or for those in Discord that may be interested. I'm thinking about doing live shows with where we're out cruising as a team, things like that. Again, if folks are looking to do that, we'll have a late night chat for those who can do it. So could be something fun. I mean, we've been having 69s here at night, which is uncommon. So I'm not sure what's going on with the weather down here. I'm not going to complain by any means, but yeah, it's definitely been pretty strange as far as the fact that we've been able to actually not die into heat. But yeah, so definitely make sure y'all comment in on that, and I think we will. I don't know, whatever day works best for folks. Now, I don't imagine I'll be doing. Oops, sorry about that, serious. I don't imagine I'll be doing any live stream like that on a Friday, because that's Fridays and Saturdays seem to be the big days for our Discord run events. So we will just have to wait and see. You guys have a wonderful day.